Welcome back to the channel, and on this episode, I'm actually going to tell you how I became a graphic designer in the first place. So I first kind of discovered just design in general when I was in high school. In sophomore year, I remember being in the library, testing out, making pages on GeoCities Page Builder, and I was using ArcSoft Photo Studio 2000 to make graphics, and I was just I can't quite remember like how I discovered it, but I just started playing around with the programs, and I remember going on GeoCities trying to make a website, and then they had this option where you like pick templates, but then the templates were kind of limiting. So then once I discovered the mighty, right click, I discovered like pages were made through these HTML sources. So I would kind of like figure out how to make my own links by going to the HTML, kind of learning how to just a little bit of coding, like learning how to, manipulate the HTML to make the website do what I want it to. And, this is, high school. This is like late 90s. So going into the 2000s. So this is when, making, text generators were all the craze, making your text icy and stuff like that. So I really started playing around with, design in high school, but I never really thought of it as a potential career. So I, went on for most of my life. I thought I'd be a chemical engineer. So, and that's what I went to A&T to do. I went to A&T to be a chemical engineer. That's what I majored in. That's what I thought that's what I was going to do. Meanwhile, as I'm going into college, as I'm majoring in chemical engineering, I'm still playing around with, doing certain designs and stuff like that just for fun. And then, because in high school, I even started doing design things for this website that I made called carolinabands.org, which was this website highlighting, high school and college marching bands in the North Carolina and South Carolina area. So I made a logo for it, and I even had a web show that I eventually did for it that spanned into my college years, where I would go to certain band competitions, certain events, and then I would get the highlight clips of all that. I did that throughout college, and but still, this whole time, not really thinking that'd be a possible career choice. So it was around 2003 where a mentor of mine, Sean Harrison, also known as Super Nerd, check out his stuff. He's done stuff with Chris Brown and all these commercials for high end. He's creative genius. Just he does a lot of stuff, so go check him out. But yeah, he showed me this thing called Adobe Creative Suite. Well, at the time it was Adobe Creative Suite. Now it's called the Adobe Creative Cloud. And once he showed me that, that's when I switched from my, beloved ArcSoft Photo Studio 2000 to Adobe Photoshop. And then through Adobe Photoshop, I learned about Illustrator and, all these other possible avenues. So I was going to college and doing the graphic design thing, but still majoring in chemical engineering, still not thinking that design was an actual thing that I could do that was for me. So, but throughout college, I did stuff for the band, I did stuff for my chapter, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But it really wasn't until like late into my, matriculation through college that I started to think to myself, I don't quite want to do this chemical engineering thing. While I liked chemistry, really liked chemistry, the engineering part where it's like, okay, those junior senior level courses, that's when it's like rubber meets the road. And it's like, do you really want to do this for the rest of your life? Meanwhile, I'm kind of, not taking any classes, just kind of teaching myself and, learning this graphic design thing. But this graphic design thing is really what I'm, drawn to and I love to do. So I finished with the chemical engineering degree. But then after I graduated, I was like, I really want to do this graphic design things. I've been doing stuff for the band, and did stuff while I was on staff for the band. I got paid through the school and all this. So I decided, try to make this graphic design thing work some way, somehow. And I kept my little part-time job at the movie theater, and then I was just doing freelance things. So I did stuff for my church. I did stuff for my brother who has a sports and education type company where he trains kids, preparatory kids, and he trains people who want to go overseas to play professional ball, basketball, and stuff like that in Durham. So, just taking all the little opportunities that I can to kind of design for certain people to kind of really get my portfolio up. And then I was just, doing stuff, for me, doing stuff that I wanted to do and just coming up with different ideas. Because a lot of times when you're in an in-between time where maybe not getting the jobs you want, or maybe not getting the clients that you want, you have to constantly be practicing, constantly, honing your craft and constantly just getting better and having fun, but also learning that, you don't have to put a lens flare in Photoshop every single time. Because there was a point in my life where once I discovered lens flare, there was a good few years there where it was just everything had lens flare on it. Like I can show you some things. But yeah, like practice, do stuff, and then I started a production company with some of my friends. Brain Freeze Productions, where we started doing, and that gave me more opportunities to practice my craft to kind of build my portfolio. So it's like it's all about looking and seeking out opportunities and just continuously doing it, because there is no magic way to become better as a graphic designer. There's no magic pill you can take. You just have to continue to practice, continue to get better, and continue to just look for opportunities to flex your muscle and learn new things. So I'm going through this, and then years go by, and it gets frustrating. It's frustrating because you're seeking out opportunities. At one point I thought I was gonna go to grad school, try to get in grad school for graphic design, even though I didn't have my undergrad graphic design, but trying to do it based on my portfolio, and that didn't quite work out. I was trying to seek out, part-time things and stuff like that. And after years of kind of going through it and kind of thinking that, maybe, and then it got to the point where it was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm not meant to be a graphic designer. Maybe I've wasted all this time in this pursuit and it's all for naught. So it really started to get down on myself there, the lowest that I'd ever gotten in my life at that point. And I remember going out on the porch, and I remember, just, tearing up, crying. And then my dad came out the porch, and I tried to go in and just act like, oh, everything's cool, everything's fine. But then, he saw that, something was wrong. So he said it was wrong. And then I just like break down. And then I really say, maybe it's not for me. And I'm just really doubting myself, because for so many years, I was just certain that this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. And he just put his hands on my shoulders and he said, "You can't give up, son. You can't give up." And the funny thing about it is, a week before that, I had gotten an email from a chapter brother of mine who suggested that I, try to put in an application for this job at national headquarters of Kappa Psi Phi Sigma for their publication manager and multimedia designer. Now, I had ignored it at first because I was like, I'm not qualified for that. And plus, moving all the way from North Carolina to Stillwater, Oklahoma, that seems crazy. That's just, no, they're not going to want me. So, but then after some other things didn't work out, I was like, you know what, let me just give it a shot. Like, worst case scenario, nothing happens. So 2 interviews later, I get a call, fully prepared to say, thank you for your time. But like, I have the thank you for your time speech at this point, ready to rock in the chamber. So I had that in the chamber, but then the person on the other line says, we want you to come to Stillwater. And then from that moment on, my life changed completely. This is like my first full-time, in-house design position. And it was all thanks to all those people that in those in-between years from graduating to that point that gave me opportunity to design for them. And gave me word of mouth recommendations and gave me all of these opportunities to fill my portfolio with things that I now was using to get this job. And once I got this job, had to learn on the fly. It's the year of a national convention year. You gotta learn how you do podium, do the podium magazine. That's twice a year in this program, InDesign, which at the time I had never used before. Now I swear by InDesign. I don't know where you were all my life, but thank you for being here now. But yeah, like, and this just opened me up to a whole new, set of possibilities. It just everything changed from there. So I'm working for Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma, and thus far I've been able to do things as like, the centennial of Kappa Kappa Psi. Like there's a granite plaque with a logo that I did on it. Like it's madness. And Tau Beta Sigma 75th anniversary is coming up. So I've been able to do some things for that, and we'll continue to do more things for that. So as far as like how I became a graphic designer, I just the bug hit me one day, and then I started to practice on it, not knowing all that it could possibly be for me in my life. And now to the point where I'm like giving tips on how to design publications and giving workshops and getting to travel, all over the country, giving workshops about what I do and helping people with social media and designing their publications and utilizing their things to get their chapters, get their message and their band's message out there. And it's pretty amazing the journey that I've been on thus far. And this is just the cliff notes that I'm giving you of this. But how I became a graphic designer, I just decided that that's what I wanted to do, and then wanted to work at it. Because when you really love something, you have a passion for something, you're going to work at it and you're going to spend that time with it. So it's just about, continuing to go at it. And this is what you really want to do. This is what you really believe that you are here to do. Make sure that you always look for opportunities to hone your craft, and make sure that you never give up on your dream and continue to work at it, continue to try different things, and continue to push yourself. And yeah, that's really the quick version of how I became a graphic designer. If you like more of these type of personal videos, let me know in the comment section down below. I have some more topics that I might want to discuss in the future. But yeah, let me know if you like this format of video. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure as you go along in life, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See you next time.